So did you all kind of know when the show was canceled that you might actually have a chance to come back? Because I think you guys were only gone for like a month before you got the good news, right?
I think so.
Yes, but for me, I felt like when we got canceled, that was it. And the fact that all these fans showed an outpouring of love and specific kinds of love for the show made me be like, okay, we're back, baby. We're revitalized. So, yeah.
It's funny because do you almost feel like you had a little bit more greater appreciation for the fans? I know that you guys already did, but in seeing that when everything went down, it's just like, wow, we really are loved. They really do like us.
Yeah, absolutely. Like seeing them, like Mary said, like the specific kind of love that came out on Twitter and just people's comments, like it really was like, oh, you watched the show, you're binging it in anticipation for it to come back for season 3, demanding to know the date it's coming back. So many demands that it really was a lovely feeling.
Yeah, we're used to doing live theater when you get an immediate response. So this was like, we put this show out there and then it got canceled and we just sort of felt like it went into space and felt lost. So then to get these really specific outpourings and all of this Twitter love was like, this is real, this is big, this is, it really was powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you guys are on Peacock streaming service and not on network TV, did you guys kind of get the sense that you could maybe have a little bit more freedom? Maybe things could get a little bit more crazy now that you're on network TV? How did you all feel?
We took our cue from the writers, and definitely that was right away at the beginning of the season. Mike O'Brien, the creator, was like, we have a little more wiggle room with time and it can be a little edgier. So it's a weirder season, and the writers definitely gave us amazing gifts that way. And then we were able to build on that.
And you know what's so cool is that what remained is that even if it is a bit more edgy, I still think that the core of it is the same. Mm-hmm. And my favorite thing to hear from fans is that like a comment like, well, my daughter and I look forward to it every Thursday to watch it. It's such a huge compliment to know that families can watch it together. I think that's my favorite part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's part of it too? Because there's kind of a stigma attached to, oh, there's a streaming service, you can do whatever you want, but yeah, you still want to keep the core of the show. Was that important to you guys to be able to still have that family aspect? Because we are still talking about a series at a high school here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, but also like it was definitely important to keep that family aspect, but also I think with it being on streaming, just the reality of like how these kids talk and how these teachers talk are being able to be brought to light unfiltered. Like me, Mary and Jean, we're improvisers, so we improvise a ton. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, so much of this now will probably get to stay in because, that natural kind of back and forth we have, we don't, not like we ever did edit ourselves, but but now it's like, ooh, it might actually, get to live a little bit longer. So yeah.
So let's talk about your group for a second, because I feel like you guys are like the super best friends group of Whitlock High School at this point. So what would you say is your favorite thing about that friendship between the 3 ladies?
I would just say that it's there's so much love there. And like real relationship dynamic love, like it's not one note or 2-dimensional at all, which is so refreshing. Like they're not overly catty or arguing over like weird catty things that people think women argue about that we don't. And it's like they have moments where they get on each other's nerves. They have moments where they're frustrated or have little tiffs, but then they can come back together in an organic way. So that for me is really nice, and it just feels real. It is real.
I think one thing that feels so unique and real about it too is that for me, my love language is teasing. And the fact that our dynamic can include so much teasing as much as I will kick anyone's ass who messes with my friend. I love that both can live in that space.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't have a love language, but build on what Mary said, we give each other a hard time sometimes, but I also know that if these guys were like, Michelle, you're so weird, and a student was like, you're weird, they'd be like, never say that about Michelle. Like they take care of each other fiercely beyond anything else.
That's awesome. Now let's talk about Principal Durbin for a second, because it seems like everybody kind of gets along with him pretty well. So would you say that he is a good boss?
He's a good boss if you want to get away with anything you want.
He
So
means well.
yes.
He means well. He's a good boss. He means so well.
Because it seems like he has a little bit of trouble keeping control of things, but that's kind of par for the course if you've been watching the show.
For sure. And I also feel like Durbin is always dealing with like a hamster in the sewer that's having babies, or like the school is like falling apart, but he is ultimately so good at his job.
You guys don't really wait that long this season for things to start falling apart either. Not going to spoil anything, but that was pretty epic first episode for anybody that's getting ready for that. What was that like, actually being back shooting that first episode and thinking, wow, you guys look like you were having a lot of fun, like you've gotten a new lease on life.
We were so grateful to be there. We got to work with director Oz Rodriguez, who directed the pilot, and we worked with every season. He's so much fun. And then there were so many physical bits, and yeah, we were just on cloud nine.
Yeah.
So now this show's obviously in its third season. You guys know each other all pretty well, it seems like. So which one of you would you say, I'm going to put you guys on the spot, which one of you all would you say is the most like your character?
Well, Mary's is named Mary.
So do I win by default?
I think Mary, yes. I mean, I think we are kind of similar to ours, but I think definitely Mary is like, let's have some fun with what's going on here in real life. Like, Mary is the most fun person I ever met. She's like, yeah.
So nice. Well, what I think is so fun is that I know some of the writers in the room, and there'll be certain scripts where I'll read through them and I'll be like, okay, well, that is a younger version of myself. I am a little bit more together now, but it is really fun to play a more reckless version. But I would say for the both of you too, I wouldn't say that your characters are that far off from you either.
Yeah, no, I feel like Steph is pretty close to me in a lot of ways. Like, I do genuinely love history.
Mm-hmm.
So that like is a fact. But yeah, I feel like a lot of her like spunk and, you know, how she is with the ladies and all of that. Yeah. And Michelle is exactly like, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you did poop your pants at one time, right? And have to wear those in real life. And
that happens to everybody, is what I'm aware of.
Wow. Okay, that's a little side note that we didn't know we were going to get right there.
Please make sure to put that in there, James.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Is it bad too? I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that I've been in this room for less than 10 minutes and I knew somebody was going to say Mary first. Question.
That's a good thing. You're in the vibe. Our vibe is strong.
Apparently so. I mean, I thought it was, I didn't realize how obvious that question was going to be when I wrote it last night. So now I feel good about myself. So did you all kind of have a favorite episode this season that you can talk about without spoiling anything, whether it involved your characters or just something really funny that happened that you're really looking forward to fancying?
Dang, I feel like mine, I'm going to try to craft my words because mine might be a little spoiler, but I mean, we know that Steph is pregnant this season because Lyric was pregnant in True Life. True Life, I was pregnant. So there's an episode, just so fun, where we, the ladies investigate just the possible familial relations of Steph's child to possibly someone within the walls of Whitlock High School.
I was going to say that's my favorite episode too. It's a definite caper. It involves fun costumes. And we're getting to the bottom of Steph's truth and looking ahead to the future. And it was very fun to shoot. Yeah.
I would say I really like the colonoscopy episode because we get to go to Jack's house and bring our sleepover energy to him and truly wind up in his sweatpants and t-shirt.
Truly.
And not in a sexual way, guys, kind of.
Well,
we just talked about how this is a family show now. Come on.
Thank you. It's high school kids. God.
Hey.
Oh my goodness. Now, having students in the classroom, obviously not something that's kind of in the norm right now in 2020. And, you know, which one of your characters do you think would do the best with virtual learning?
I was gonna say Michelle, but I can also see her like having everything set up, ready to go, but then knocking a candle over and lighting her whole house on fire.
I literally,
Of season 4.
I literally had the same thought, Mary. Like I went, Michelle, and then I went, no, I just saw Keith and like amps in the background, and I was like, oh no, like my face literally went, no.
I think Steph Duncan would be like set up a theater, like she would set up a gorgeous, like fabulous lighting.
Yeah.
She would like be like, now I'm putting on a show and I have no control over it. I think she'd be the best.
Yeah, I weirdly think Steph would be like ready to showcase her house, weirdly, like weird paintings and stuff from like, yeah.
I think Mary might have like some sweatpants on and accidentally like do the Zoom bottom half show, like maybe accidentally put some stuff in the background. I don't know.
I think so too. I told you there's always going to be some gross man walking out of her bedroom.
Exactly.
And kids don't even mind this gross, scaggy guy leaving my bedroom.
It's true to life. Happens all the time. Now, ladies, before I let you go, other than each other, because I know that you have a lot of scenes together, I know you have a lot of fun together. Who's your favorite character on the show to actually have scenes with?
I'm gonna say the first one that comes to mind is Principal Durbin's Patton. Patton is so good about while you're in the scene and like we improvise so much, he remembers stuff that you said on his coverage that was funny for you. And then when it reverses to you, Patton is great about being like, oh, you said this was funny. And it's so like, oh, and it's like a true kind of dance and partnership with him that he's just always like looking out for everybody. And he's so sweet and fun. So yeah.
I have to say my favorite person this season was filming with David Neer, who plays Geology Dave. He's, he got hit in the face with a Sloppy Joe last season, and this season he just gets raked over the coals fully. And it's so funny too because he is the nicest man on the planet, the most well-adjusted person, and then he gets on screen and plays the biggest boner, and he's the best.
I would say Helen, because she's so brilliantly funny, Paula, that every take is different and every take is incredible. I feel like you are always on your toes when you're playing with her and always learning something.
No doubt about it. Thank you so much, ladies. Can't wait for everyone to see AP Bio Season 3 on Peacock starting on September the 3rd. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.